This is the beginning of the podcast. And to start this week's podcast, we are going to attempt our first ever sale of goods on the podcast. We have not secured any sponsorships ever before. We've never tried to sell our audience anything. But today, on the Not Our Finest Hour podcast, we are going to attempt to sell Chad's two Chinese excavators. And I think the great thing about this is because this is a podcast and it will get loaded up and it will stay loaded up forever, continue to call Chad about these excavators long after he's sold the two that are available, because there's no way for us to really tell you that they're sold. So, although maybe 3 podcasts from now, we could say they're sold. So this is going to open up Chad to a absolute forever people messaging him going, hey, you still got that excavator.
Hey, joke's on you though. If people are asking, then I'm buying more and selling more.
Okay.
I'm going to retail these
Fair
if it
enough.
comes down to it.
Well, Ritchie Brothers has another auction in Montreal right now. Is there any Chinese excavators in that auction, Chad?
I'll let you know shortly.
Should we be very
Chad,
transparent as to how much Chad paid us to read off this ad read? Should we be transparent about that number?
well, I think when we get enough money from this to get to H&A next year, Chad's going to buy dinner.
Okay.
You're not going to buy dinner if your two excavators get sold. You can't buy dinner the first night at H&A next year.
Absolutely, I can, and I will.
Okay, there you go. I don't think it was an outrageous ask.
I didn't tell you where we were eating.
Oh,
I said
true.
I'd buy.
That's true. All right, are you ready? Are you ready for this is an absolute breakdown of these excavators too. This is all the information that you could possibly need about these babies. They are yellow and black. So if you want to make that, which is actually Chad bought them intentionally yellow and black because he wants you to be able to launch them on your Instagram channel to the song Black and Yellow, Black and Yellow. These things come preordained with music already ready for them that will go viral. So we're not guaranteeing a viral video from the Chinese excavators to the Black and Yellow music, but you got a shot at going viral with Chad's Black and Yellow excavators. So here we go. 2 brand new 1.3-ton mini excavators available. Briggs and Stratton gas motors. Operating weight 1,000 kilograms or 2,205 pounds. Digging capacity of the bucket is 0.025 CBM. I'm not sure what that is, but hey, cubic meters. Oh, okay, there you go. But 0.025 cubic meters in the buckets. The buckets do have cutting edges on them. I've seen them. They're at my yard. They're impressive. Bucket width, 15 inches. Engine, Briggs and Stratton. Power, 13.5 horsepower. Woo! You're rolling. I wonder if Chad's monstrous water pump has more horsepower than these excavators. What do you think? I think it's close. How big is the monstrous water pump?
I have no clue.
Bore stroke, single cylinder. Climbing capacity, 30 degrees. Overall dimension, 2,775 times 930 times 15 at 39 millimeters. 109 times 37 times 61 inches. Total track length, 48 inches. Platform ground clearance, 15 inches. Track width, 7 inches. Max digging depth, 65 inches. Max digging height. We're all determining what the max digging height of an excavator means, but god damn it, it's 104 inches. You can dig a lot higher with this excavator than you can dig deeper. That's kind of disturbing, actually, but whatever. I guess it's got a lot of upward digging capacity. Max dumping height, 173 inches. Max digging radius on ground, 112 inches. That seems pretty big. That's pretty good, man. Like the radius you can dig around in a circle. Minimum rotation
But
radius.
can't you dig like a 360 with a?
That's what it's saying. The max. So if you were to dig an entire hole 360, you'd get 112 inches from the excavator.
Oh,
I think that seems pretty impressive.
It does.
Doesn't
you
it?
could dig your hot tub pad from the middle.
From the middle.
Yeah. Minimum rotation radius, 53 inches. So I guess that means you can spin it around in a 53-inch area. That's pretty impressive. right?
Hmm.
Max
Yeah.
upgrade height of bulldozer blade is 13 inches. Max digging depth of bulldozer blade is 10 inches. And Chad is looking for 11,500 plus HST for each of these Chinese excavators. Currently, they're located in the Toronto area, but they may be located in the Cornwall area soon. So if you are in the Toronto area and you have interest in these excavators, jump on these babies as soon as possible. Now,
By the
Mike,
time this airs, they'll probably be in Cornwall.
they
I
could
could
be
leave
in
one with you.
That's up to you. They're yours. You do what you want. They are currently in our yard protected. So 11,500 plus HST, and you can take these excavators home and start making money with them. Mike has just listened to Thad and is shaking his head up and down, yes, nodding his head that he is probably going to be Chad's first customer on one of these excavators because he knows he could keep it in his parking garage in the city because it's just that compact of an excavator. So
I should mention that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these Chinese excavators available at auction, which I'd love to pick up for anybody if they want to pay more than I pay for them.
oh, in
So,
Montreal, there's 9 of them.
yeah, there's 9 of them. And your color of choice, you can do green, orange, yellow. There's a black one.
There's an all black one.
There's an all black one. Murdered out.
Oh, that one says Paver King on it.
Yeah,
That's a Paver King style
that's the
excavator.
Paver
right
King style excavator.
there. Paver King
Oh no,
style.
sorry, it's gray.
Oh,
It
that's
looked black
disappointing.
from the first photo.
That's
It's got a
disappointing.
sunshade. Do they all have sunshades?
What's a sunshade?
A roof.
I think. Well, yours have
Oh
roofs.
yeah, they do. This one has a fancier roof, so
Maybe it'll go for extra money.
I bet it
One of
will.
one of yours has a cup holder, and one of yours does not.
Really?
Ooh. Is that
Yeah.
less? Is it cheaper to buy the one without the cup holder, Chad?
I think that I should do a review of the cup
Ah.
holder on the Chinese excavator. That might help bolster sales. I'm going to the yard tomorrow. Maybe I'll do a review of the Chinese excavator, Chad.
I think you should. I think you should try and fire him up. You got Brad there, get him running. He's
Yeah.
probably the best man for that. Yeah.
I feel like
I hope they gave you keys.
there's keys in them. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think we need to put some gas in them.
Yeah.
I think
I'd
that's
agree.
one of the deterrents to them. And one of them is also still strapped to a skid. So if we were going to move it around, we should probably unstrap it from the skid
How did they load them?
they loaded them with a loader. They just picked them up with the forks and put them on the float
Like underneath, not underneath
underneath the body,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
around the swing stage or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's how I took it off. That Drake watched them do it, so that's how I took them off the truck.
Gotcha. And
Well,
the
the
skid
one
steer
I
had no problem unloading them?
no, I picked it up on the skid. One of them I picked up on the skid because it's
Oh.
on the skid, so it
Yeah,
seemed like.
of course.
And then the other one I picked up the way Drake showed me how the guy had it with the thing. So yeah, the 595 had no problem picking them up. So
That's got to be a selling feature. You can move it around with your bigger machine.
absolutely. Well, if you needed to get it, say like you were building that big retaining wall.
Yeah.
Remember you're building that retaining wall that was the big circle
Yeah.
in the turning circle. So say
Yeah.
you want to do the planting, you could have taken the 595 and lifted up the mini and put it in there to dig all the holes for all the trees that were in the
Yeah.
planting.
That would have been great. Yeah.
Yeah. And you could use it to walk the trees around in theory, like with a chain.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose.
Having something you can pick up and move up a story is actually kind of handy.
Yeah. I've had 5 or 6 guys message me on Facebook about them. Said, let me know when they land in your yard. And everybody wants to come see them. I don't know if everybody wants to buy them. So
So you're going to spend, you need to have an NDL Chinese excavator open house. Where
Yeah.
anyone can come by and see them, even if have no intention of buying them.
That's my nightmare. There's nothing I hate worse than entertaining people from the internet about buying like my stuff, right?
Hey, I have a podcast I put out weekly. I fucking hate entertaining people on the internet.
No, just like if they're tire kickers and stuff and they want to buy something that I have for sale or they have a billion questions about it.
Do you honestly think that you sell less stuff because of the hassle of selling it online?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'd
Yeah.
sometimes I'd rather throw it away than deal with the questions.
Would you would you trade me one of the Chinese excavators for my sweeper?
No. 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 Well, you still haven't, is it fixed yet? Have you fixed it?
No, I had just Brad just hasn't. This is not a priority because I have no use for it. So I'm not opposed to getting it fixed, but it just didn't seem like a wise way to invest my funds this winter when I have absolutely no use for the sweeper. Actually, does work. It just needs needs some TLC.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sweeper was 10 grand.
Really?
Yeah, brand new. They're 10 grand.
Wow.
Holy
I
cow.
sent the serial number to Bobcat when I got it. I
Hmm.
sent the serial number. I said, "How much are these things?" They said they're $10,000. I was like, "Holy fuck!" All
Dang.
right,
Shit.
I'm
Is it the
telling.
one with the scoop? Like it puts everything
Yeah, and then you
in the
dump it
bucket
into
and then
yeah,
you
and then you
dump it?
dump it in your truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd
Yeah.
actually probably use it.
Actually, we borrow a sweeper quite a bit. Um,
I
never
don't
had
think
to.
I don't know if it's worth a Chinese excavator, but
Uh, well, like new, definitely. You
oh
know,
yes, no,
but
not in the condition I have
not
it.
in the condition that it's in.
Might be worth half a Chinese excavator. Like, you want to just sell me the bottom half of the excavator, not the top half? Like I got
Uh,
some other stuff kicking around my yard you might want. Maybe we could
may,
look at
maybe when I bring up the float to take those excavators home, I'll have a look. I'll bring some cash, see what else I can come home with.
maybe we can trade some other stuff. The
I've.
sweeper what's sitting over there? The sweeper is.
Do you have a
I
death
should
cube?
no. I'm getting it back though. I liked it.
You getting it
Just
back?
that's for show.
I feel like if we got it at the start of, like, say April, we could
Yeah.
get it, and if we had it all the way until end of November, start of December, I feel like we'd only probably pump a quarter of it out onto the ground instead of three quarters. Like I feel like the death cube would have a bit more use then. I don't like. I actually I liked it for filling up the truck because all these death jugs everywhere are fucking painful. Honestly, like they're brutal for the environment. I know that death fluid is saving the planet, but the plastic jugs that are created from it cannot be good for the planet, in my mind.
They're
I'm sure.
recyclable, though, aren't they?
I don't know. They go into our garbage bin in the yard.
Yeah, me too.
I don't have a separate recycling garbage bin in our fucking yard.
They refuse to pick up the garbage from my yard like they're supposed to. We got a
Wasn't it?
new garbage collection agency like 2 years ago, and they kept leaving a note on the bags that say you have to get a commercial bin. So
Uh-huh.
now we just throw all our garbage in the hook bin.
That's
And
what we
once it's
have.
full,
We use the 10-yard bins for that.
yeah.
But then this year I put the 10-yard bins on my pricing sheet, so people will probably start to call for them.
Mm.
And we only have three of them. So I should probably. I have those two bins at the guy's yard that we never hauled enough dirt away yet to get the bins, but I will haul enough dirt away and get the bins. So I'm going to use one of those bins for the garbage.
Yeah. I
But
thought
yeah,
even if we get rid of our hook lift truck, I would buy another hook lift bin just to leave for garbage and then have my buddy's hook lift pick it up whenever we need to get rid of garbage.
does your
Because
buddy
there's
have a multi-lift truck?
no, but the hook is the same height.
Is it?
Is it multi-lift? No, I think it's Merrill.
Oh, it could be Palfinger.
No, it's not a
Palfinger
pal
hooks.
finger. I know it starts with an M,
Mm.
but I
What
think
kind of truck
there's
is it?
only it's on a Freightliner FL something.
Single
It's old.
axle?
Nope, tandem.
Random. Nice.
Yeah, yeah. But she's an old girl.
Freightliners are good trucks.
Yeah, it's that ugly old body style with this really skinny nose. But I mean, the truck runs great. So
What really the important part of any truck is, does it have aluminum rims?
oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
then there you go. That's what's
That's
actually important. That's
yeah,
what's actually important about the truck.
yeah. So
Did you,
um, we sold our crane today. Knock on wood. Guy's supposed to send me payment for that. So we're taking our crane off the hook lift.
oh, so you sold it?
Yeah,
How
yeah,
much did you sell the crane for?
8 grand.
How much is a new
Which
crane?
50 grand. I don't know. It's
I know. Seems like that 8 grand was pretty fair for it.
It's 25 years old, right?
Yeah.
Just about. So I think that's an okay price. I
You
don't know what
decided
the
not to deliver bulk bagged materials.
No, that was bulk bag was never in our
Uh,
in my dream, but no, that's an accident waiting to happen too. One of a delivery truck flipped over in someone's yard this year. They were delivering shingles and they just put the whole truck on its side. I can just picture one of my guys doing that. So I'm like,
Your guys flipped an excavator on a curb in a city.
yeah, 65-year-old man on almost flat ground. Like it was
Well, I'm saying it was like,
mind-boggling.
yeah, it was on
Mind-boggling.
a curb in a city. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
really flat. Like,
It was flat. It was, yeah, it was something else. And then we called for the backhoe to come and lift it. And the backhoe, it was so sketchy to try and lift the shovel with the backhoe that we ended up calling the crane guy. And the crane guy is like, I can't do it. Get the towing guy. So for anybody that ever flips an excavator, your best bet is to get a rotator out there to flip it back over. I think cost on that to flip it back $600 or so. And then the service to go along with it, we were out, I gotta say, $2,500
oof.
total on that flip, plus what we lost on the day. So
of people standing around.
yeah. And like people were like looking at the whole thing happen, and it's just like, my fucking God. Like that's the most embarrassing thing, right? Your stickers are on the fucking excavator and it's sitting on its side. I'm just like, get me out of here. What a what a morning.
Do
Holy
you still even have that excavator?
no. We sold it.
You got rid of
I
it immediately,
I
or
No, at the end of the year. So it was off its power lease. So we bought it out and then sold it.
the power lease? What's a
The
power
power
lease?
Bobcat has the power lease.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't never leased any. I hate leasing.
So let me tell you about the Bobcat power lease, right?
Tell me about it. I want to know.
So whenever you buy from Bobcat around here at least, they they'll put the price of the machine and then um all these extra things, service charges, whatever. And then at the bottom it goes into like mega, ultra, super wild discount, and then it'll say like minus $500 or something. And then another discount will be like mega Tuesday through Sunday afternoon discount. And like all these just fucking ridiculous line items for all these discounts that mean absolutely nothing, right? So I don't know if that's part of their sales pitch or what, but instead of just giving you the price, it's a price and then all these names for silly discounts and stuff. So
But
one
it
of the
what
reasons we stopped buying from them.
what about the power lease? But what where does that come into play?
That's just their lease. That's what they
Oh,
call their.
it's
It's
just
a
called
power
a
lease, but it's a
power
fucking
lease.
lease. Yeah, it's called Bobcat Power Lease or something.
Mm,
So,
perfect.
If
yeah,
you
I
flip one of
would.
those Chinese excavators, you can just probably pick it up yourself, put it
Yeah,
back. There's a benefit to those ones. Another selling point.
get two guys standing on it, just heave it back over.
You can get
What?
the end you if you get the Chinese excavator from Chad, you can get the NDL super terrific lease,
Mm.
which is
Yeah, we'll
the
put it on a lease
NDL
program
super
for you.
super terrific lease, which is basically pay me all my money now.
Yeah.
That would be super terrific.
Hey. Oh, that's it. But
All
I don't
right.
know. They'll sell.
Oh, they'll sell.
They'll sell.
Yeah. Well, as soon as you get them home to Cornwall, someone in Toronto will want
All
them.
right. As soon as the snow is
That's,
gone from here, they'll go.
they'll go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mike, you said there was two voicemails.
We got two voicemails. Should we get into those?
Let's get in. I'm excited about the voicemails.
So they're from the same person. And I already listened to one of them and then half of the next one.
Cheater.
Now that's because they didn't go through the Not Our Finest Hour one. They went through the How to Hardscape one. I think
Why
so.
did the same person leave too?
Oh, I'm sure
They
they were
just
just
loved
trying to
it
give
that
us
much?
content to, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Right on.
Shameless content.
So let me share my screen so that I can actually share the audio here. So this is from Zach, at Strong Roots Landscaping. So we've already said that if you put your actual name in there and your email or business name, we'll definitely read it on the podcast. So Zach from Strong Roots Landscaping, we got two of them here. So we'll start with the first one. And this one I actually listened to. So I actually already forget what it is. So let's hear what it is.
Perfect.
Can you guys hear anything?
No, this is kind of awkward.
Technical difficulties once again here on the Not Our Finest Hour podcast. Thank you so much for your patience in tuning in and that you haven't gone to the Kid Contractor podcast or elsewhere while we're doing these technical difficulties. We'll see if this one works now.
Hey boys, this one's for all three of you. What during your paver installation process, what do you think you do that is most unique to your company? Like what tip or trick or jig or whatever it may be, do you think is most unique to you? Thanks, boys.
Great question from Zach. What's unique about your install?
Hmm. I don't know if we do anything unique.
So I honestly believe this is unique. It sounds ridiculous, but I think it's unique. I do not install multiple brands of pavers on one job. And I have literally turned down work. People will be like, I want a unilock border with a Teco block infill. I'll be like, I'm not doing that job. You hire someone else for that kind of bullshit, and walked away from work because of it.
Is there a reason why you don't?
It just bothers me. I just don't like it. It's like tuna, I guess. I don't know.
Like
I tell people BioPaver is all from one manufacturer. I don't care if it's Best Way, Permacon, Teco Block, Unilock. There, I got them all in Oaks. That way, no one can get pissy pants that I'm favoring someone. It doesn't matter to me. They all need to come from the same job because from the same manufacturer. Because when I look at a job, I just don't like to see a mix of pavers. It makes even when I see people doing it online, it makes my skin crawl. All the pavers for any job should come from one manufacturer. And I literally have changed. I just did a job where I couldn't find a wall system that would do what I wanted easily for the whole design of the job. And it was the last item. And I literally washed the entire job design to another company because they had a wall system that would do what I wanted them to do. I will absolutely not mix pavers on any job ever. And I have literally walked away from work because of it. You could ask Nancy Green. Find someone else for your hack bullshit mixing of manufacturers. It's not a Paver King thing.
I guess that's good from like a warranty perspective. If you ever have like to do a warranty thing,
it's good for my mental health.
Yes, yeah, I suppose. Well, I mean, so in our city, the big names, you can't buy them at the same place, right? You can't buy Teco at the same place you buy Permacon. So it's very rare that you're mixing them anyway, unless you're going to get more than one delivery or something like that. I just had a epiphany. The only thing we do that maybe not everybody else does is we buy a solid base block. It's like I want to say 5 inches long, but or 12 inches by 5 inches or something like that. So the base block is actually extends beyond the retaining wall block by probably like 6 inches or 4 inches either side, which is really great for building on after the fact, right? Because you get your base block, which is this monster block. Get those leveled, and then it just flies in after that. You don't have to worry too much with your original string line and stuff. But I guess some other manufacturers are building their own like base block too.
Right.
I think.
So do you glue that initial course on top of that base block?
Yeah. We glue everything. I know they say don't glue your walls and all this stuff. I've glued walls for 12 years and I've never had to go back and fix a wall because it had glue when it wasn't supposed to.
I find it interesting that you spend a lot of time gluing walls together, and you use a lot of glue on it, but you're well known on Instagram as a guy who cheaps out on glue and doesn't use enough.
No,
So
I
on the products where it's absolutely recommended to not use glue, you at NDL are slamming the glue down. But to glue down the coping, you really just cheap out and put a little bit. Like I find that
So
interesting scenario.
that's it. There's a lot going on that you don't see.
A lot going on. I don't
A
see.
lot going on. So whenever we glue a pool coping down, um, obviously we glue from the bottom. We also glue the coping stones together. I think that's pretty normal, right?
Mhm.
But as we're putting the paver course behind that, we're gluing those pavers to the back of that coping,
Wow.
which
You
is
love glue.
That is unique. That's
That
what you should have
is.
brought up. I've never
yeah,
heard of someone doing that before. See, this opened up a whole new.
it's
That
just
is
like, and like I don't know if it does anything, but it's good for my brain, like it's just
that,
that little bead of glue on the back side of the coping that the first course of interlock sticks to. Because like I don't want anybody to fall in the pool or the coping to come off, right? Like you might think there's not a lot of glue on there, but sure as shit, we use our share of glue.
I thought there wasn't. So for the record, I was just talking about the internet people. I thought that you had more than enough glue on the coping. I understand how glue works and how it spreads, but on the internet, I was just saying internet pundits. The internet pundits commiserated that there was a possibility that maybe Chad didn't have enough glue in his video that went viral.
And I mean, the guy that was applying the glue also hasn't been applying glue for 10 years, right? He's been applying glue for 6 months or whatever, like, and I just so happen to be holding the camera instead of doing the glue, right? So like I could have been the one gluing the rest of the coping, like it's Jesus, everybody has an opinion.
Do you
It's just
think that if you had had one of those power glue guns for that guy, he would have applied more glue?
uh honestly, I've never applied so much glue in such a short time that I say, wow, my hand is really killing me. I need an electric glue gun. I
I
can see
love
how they're
them.
handy.
They're awesome.
I can see how they're handy, but I've never been lacking in hand strength.
You got good grip strength.
Well, I've been lifting pavers for 18 years now or something, right?
Right.
Like I
When
don't
you've
know.
been doing it for 35, you start to lose grip strength. So it's like saying how long you've been doing it doesn't necessarily mean how much grip strength you have. Just putting it out there. Just saying.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. So what's your unique install? I think we established Chad gluing pavers to coping. Absolutely unique.
And someone's gonna chime in now. What the fuck? He's fucking it up. He's doing it
Oh,
wrong. You're not supposed to
can
do
you
that.
make a video of that and put it on Instagram?
I will next year.
Yeah.
I got a couple posts around actually. So
That'd be good.
I'll make a video. I'll tell you a story about this one client actually coming up, but after Mike's
My unique thing,
yeah.
I can't really think of anything. I would say
That sounds so Mike.
yeah, exactly, right? Unique to me, but definitely not unique to like other people. I don't use wall caps, like concrete wall caps. I use natural stone on everything for wall caps, to feature walls, to seat walls. I haven't found a wall cap on the market that I like, so it's always natural stone.
That's
I
unique.
like that.
I like
I
that.
got a story off that too.
Ooh, 2 stories.
So we installed this wet cast wall a couple of years ago. Actually, 5 years ago, before my daughter was born. So the retailer shipped us what was supposed to be a black coping, that was natural stone. And it showed up and it was, instead of I don't know, what do they come in, 24-inch cap, like a nice long cap, or 4-foot cap or something like this.
Yeah.
They came in like 12-inch caps that were like a poopy brown color. And the client's like, well, what do we do? I'm like, send him back. He's like, well, he's my cousin. I don't know if I can, and all this stuff. And I said, okay, well, you bought the material. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And then he was searching he wanted to dye these caps black
Oh my God.
instead of switching them out for something black, actual black, natural stone. He was looking into dyeing them and have someone coming down. He's like, "Can you hold off on putting the cap on the wall because I might want to dye them?" I'm just like, "This is a fucking shit show." Like, and ever since then, like I won't let the client buy their own materials and stuff like that. Like, but anyway, we got the proper black cap and sent these other things back. Some guy picked them up, 2 pallets in like a little van, like 2 full pallets of stone, and he put them in a van. And
There's absolutely no way to get me off your property faster than to say I'm buying my own material.
Yes.
I don't I don't even respond to it. I just walk to the truck and leave. I'm sure there's like fucking reviews where people are like, this guy just left in the middle of the fun. Like, I don't acknowledge it. If someone says it to me, I'm buying my own materials. If it's a job I happen to want, I just gloss over it and pretend they never said it. Or I leave. Because there's no faster way to get me away from you than to say, because I will say to them, if you order your own materials and I am short one paver, I am going to call you at your work at 9 o'clock in the morning and say, I'm short one layer of blue 60 champagne gray. Go get it.
Yeah.
And while I'm waiting for you, I'm going to invoice you hourly for my guys that are standing here doing jack fuck because you don't have enough pavers on site. How do you feel about that? And they'd be like, well, that's not fair. I said, well, if you're in control of the materials, you got to pay and pay and pay and pay for every single mistake with the materials.
Yeah. No, that's
I'm not going to pay. I'm not paying because sorry, I have an emotional. I fucking hate people who buy their own materials.
You hate the people, or you hate the fact that
I hate the people. I hate them. Fuck those motherfuckers trying to juice me out of. They think like, well, you're marking it up. Of course, I'm marking it up because I have an expertise in ordering the materials to make the job flow, and you don't because you're a stupid homeowner. And my materials and my job and my timeline are going to get fucked to hell because you tried to cheap out ordering 3 bags of sand instead of getting the 4th bag so that a half bag could sit and rot in the back of my pickup truck for 3 months.
So here's another thing on that note. Like we have a retailer here. Well, no, a product manufacturer around here that will sell like their, what do they call them, B-sides? Like the rejects, seconds,
yeah,
whatever, right? So they'll sell those, and I've had a couple homeowners buy them and ask me to install them, and I'm like, hey, why? Like, I'm trying to like work it out in my head, right? Why are you buying the material on your own? Why does it have to be this? Like, and there's actually one jokester of a contractor down here who will buy those seconds or whatever they are and sell them as the top shelf stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then install that, like, just shady shit. But
I had a shall remain nameless friend client of mine who has a vast access to a lot of pavers, and he bought a bunch of seconds for his house because I would make an exception with him that I actually did some work for him when he bought the material. And so he laid it all with one of my guys. They worked on it. They laid it all together. And I went down afterwards and it's like the finish on it is totally fucked. Like, I mean, it's the most fucked up bunch of pavers I've ever seen. And I just was like, dude, it's like, I don't understand what happened here. And I'm like, well, you bought cheap pavers. So that they told you, hey, the finish on these is fucked up. It's like, it's not even Efflo white or polyhaze. It's like some weird brown tint, the whole pavers. It's just ridiculous. That's why you don't buy your own materials. Even if you, it's
yeah.
Barrie used to have that problem because Unilock used to dump their seconds on the Barrie market every year. For a long time, the Unilock plant in Barrie used to dump seconds all through the Barrie market, and you'd drive through Barrie and people would have gone to the sale and their driveway would be full of some shit box paver that's all 2 centimeters too small, or the mold's all fucked up, and then they're trying to lay it, and then they can't imagine I've been a Barrie contractor back then. People called me about using it, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'd rather cut my own finger off.
PK, would you use a paver that had a name that you didn't like? You didn't like the sound of its name, or a manufacturer that you didn't like the sound of the manufacturer's name?
Probably not. There's one. There's one manufacturer who I don't use that much because the name's kind of goofy to be named after. It's named after a tree. Who the fuck manufactures cement and names it after a tree? That's fucked up shit. I'm sorry.
They've left me dry, that manufacturer, after like we ordered 4 months in advance, and the week before the job was to start, they're like, I'm like, hey, send my product. They're like, we don't have it yet. Like, what do you mean? You knew like 4 months ago this project was supposed to start. You assured me it was going to be ready. And then they're like, yeah, they don't have an excuse for us. They just said it's going to take longer. Said, okay, you call, like I told the retailer, you call the client, you tell them why their product that they chose and you assured them would be there is not there, and then get them in there and give them something else for a better price. And my retailer was actually all right with that, but I was not happy with the tree name.
People.
The tree.
Yeah.
Seriously, who the fuck starts making concrete and goes, I'm going to name this after a tree? Like, what are you talking about?
Maybe it's someone's last name or something.
I don't think so. I think they just like trees.
They have an awful website, by the way.
I have never been on it.
God awful. At least it
was.
was.
This is the conversation where we get sued.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't say anybody's name.
This is the same manufacturer that my little brother, when I hired him in my first year, put together a wall, and the tolerances were so far off, like horizontally, that the seam lined up perfectly after like 10 feet.
Maybe you're supposed to use some of them as a jumper. Do they still do walls with jumpers?
I remember jumpers. Yeah. Yeah.
Like the old quarry stone walls or something.
The Orange Company used to have jumpers. You guys probably wouldn't remember this, but at one time the Orange Company made a tumbled wall, and they used to have a big vertical that you could put in it.
Yeah.
It was like a double stacked piece. It was really weird.
Orange Company.
The orange. There's one company whose all their branding is orange. Come on, man. Seriously?
I don't know.
It's not coming to mind for me.
Everything they have is bright orange. Everything they literally have is bright orange. I can't believe you guys
everything is bright orange.
Everything they sell is.
Really? That's orange?
That's orange? No. That's red and black.
I think that's red, yeah.
No, it's orange.
I'm colorblind, so I'm going to refer to somebody else on this, but I think it's red.
Company that is, they should work on their marketing then.
Maybe I'm colorblind. It's always been orange to me.
It's not like this orange though.
That's yellow.
That's not yellow.
No, that's orange.
What are you talking about? What color is your hat, Mike?
This one?
Hat. Yeah, that's orange.
That's like an orangish red.
Well, that's similar. However, anyone, I'm not burning any toast right now, so you're good. That color on Mike's hat from the Not Our Finest Hour logo is very similar to the color of this company on everything they fucking logo.
We don't have much of that company around here, so actually they called me. They're having a showcase tomorrow. They asked me if I wanted to go.
So you're gonna go?
No, not because I'm opposed to them. It's just because I've lost interest in these showcases lately.
Why?
This year,
I felt the same way this year.
I just I have too much other stuff on, I have way more stuff on my plate.
Yeah, I guess. I went to the event at a supplier today.
Oh yeah.
And that's yellow and red.
Are they yellow and red?
I think they're orange.
They had some black.
I think they're orange.
Oh my God, you guys can go
they're orange.
Yourself. They're yellow, red, and black. And there was a lot of people there, and I hadn't been to any events this year. other than Congress, which I think I built it up too much in my mind, and I found it to be slightly mediocre. So, um, anyways, I I enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing everyone. I am a celebrity. I did a few autographs.
Nice.
You did autograph. Wow.
You did
Oh,
autographs?
they set up a table for me, yeah, right away as soon as I got there. I'm just
They
joking.
set up a table for you.
No one gave a shit that I was there. My God.
Shook some hands and kissed some babies and
Took some hands, kissed some babies, brought some listeners to the podcast in. Yeah, no one gave a shit that I was there. No. Well, maybe Omar, because he was like, put his arm around me at his 6'8" self and said,
holy cow.
"Remember all that soil that you didn't move for me this winter?" Like, yeah, bro, I'm on it.
Wow. He's
Luckily-
6'8"?
I don't know. My head comes to his shoulder.
Wow.
That's got to be hard to lay pavers when you're that tall.
Oh man, this guy's a beast. He's fucking huge. It was great though because Paisley was with me and he was a goalkeeper, so he had a good talk with her. She appreciated it. She was excited to go to her first landscaping event. I'm indoctrinating her into the business so that I can guilt her into taking it over. It's awesome. Gonna
Guilt
play
her
the,
and taking it
well,
over.
that's the only way you get someone to take over their family business. Who the fuck wants to run the business? Like your daughter isn't going to want to run the business that you dreamed of owning. She might do.
No, that's fine.
She might do it because she feels guilty. She's going to
Well, I
let
don't
her
want her to
dad
feel
down.
no.
Well, I don't want to
She'll-
either. I'm
Yeah.
actually I don't care. I'm going to make my kid feel guilty. I worked hard to grow this business, and I don't want to see it go to shit. So I'm
It's
gonna
just like
I'm just joking. I don't want her to run this business.
it automatically gives them a job, right? Like whenever as they grow
Did
up.
you automatically want a job?
Oh yeah. I would have
I
loved to.
didn't. I could have automatically had a job as a TTC bus driver and probably been retired right now, and then started a landscaping company. But I didn't want an automatic job, so I did the total opposite of what my dad told me to do. Became a landscaper, and that's panned out great.
I mean, you're on this
Um,
podcast. That's a bonus.
That's true. Well, this is just another thing in the long repertoire of things that I've done with my life where I didn't get paid. So
In another life, in another universe, you're a TTC bus driver podcast.
I'm a
host.
TTC. Oh, I could just be a TTC bus driver.
Oh
And
yeah.
the thing about it is, like, I guess I just always, if you do this for a living, you're just not a normal. It's not a normal life, and you're not a normal person. And I watch guys when I follow them on Instagram. They're struggling to have normal lives and be normal people. They're struggling with it. You can watch them. They're trying to go to a Leaf game. Like, hey, bro, you got to go salt. Fuck that Leaf game. I watch people and I'm like, yeah, you can try as hard as you want, but there just is no way to achieve normalcy and be a hardscaper.
yeah.
It's totally impossible. I think that it's time for Caleb's Corner, brought to you by Chad.
What do you mean by me?
We
I
still
didn't
have another
prepare anything.
voicemail. We do still have another voicemail.
I
just
know,
wanna
but
put that
can
out there.
can we not just do this? Okay, do you want to do?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
we can do the other.
Oh.
I thought this was really good, and it's pertinent to the conversation right now. And this
Is that what we're doing?
well, I can read it if you don't want to. I just love this.
I'm trying to find it again. Oh my goodness.
Oh, what is it?
It's
The thing from last night?
yeah, it's from last night. It was amazing.
Okay.
I actually read it to someone,
I was
and
just-
I read it to another
was-
landscaper, and they were just taken aback by it, just by the purity and the relationship to it. They just were absolutely taken back by it because
I don't
just-
even know what you guys are talking about.
I just think it just
Okay.
captured the essence. So, are you going to read it, Chad?
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's fire away.
so this is Caleb's Corner. It is a unauthorized subsection of the Not Our Finest Hour podcast, which is completely not sponsored by the Kid Contractor podcast and is not authorized. We are authorized in no way to use that name, and anything we say is not related to the Kid Contractor podcast or Caleb Allman. But whenever we think we might bring value, we do bring them up. So, Chad, shoot your quote that is amazing.
I know. So anyway, last night I was doom scrolling on Instagram and I came across a clip of Jerry Seinfeld talking to Howard Stern, and he said, "Your blessing in life is when you find the torture that you're comfortable with. And I think that's a profoundly landscape related quote. I think
that is deep thoughts
that's
as a
something else,
landscaper.
eh? Like find the torture that you're comfortable with.
It's
I
amazing.
I can't say every day I'm tortured, but I've felt tortured more often than not in landscape construction.
No matter what you're doing, you're just there's always some piece of anxiety. Like
It's
your job could be flowing great, but your anxiety is that you got some shit dumped on the road, and is someone coming?
Yeah.
is someone coming? Yeah, like
Yeah, it is a torturous. It's such a great quote, man. It's
it's
amazing.
it's amazing what you learn to feel comfortable with too, right? Just
Yeah.
being owed thousands upon thousands of dollars, and that just becomes normal for you because that's not normal to anyone else that I know. Like I don't have
Uh,
friends sitting
yeah.
at home waiting on $20,000, and then
I totally agree with you.
like
Absolutely.
it's a or nobody else that I know has $5,000 fuel bills in a week sometimes, or someone asks you for your credit card because they need a deposit of $15,000 for something. Like that's not a normal thing, as far as I know anyway. Maybe it is in
I
America or something, but
I don't. Yeah, I think that sometimes I agree too. Sometimes I'm having conversations with people about like how I really think that this Kentworth triaxle, brand new triaxle bin truck at 347 is a good deal and could work for our company. I feel like that's not the kind of conversation that normal people have. They don't talk about buying a vehicle for $347,000 and going, I think that's good. Like Kelly and I will sit and I'll be like, yeah, that truck's gonna do everything we need it to. That is the ticket. We need to buy that. And she's like, yeah, we as soon as we get back from Dominican, let's go buy this truck for 347. Our house was $220,000. It's
yeah,
I
yeah,
agree with
truck.
you.
You have
It's a
truck
bizarre
payments.
world. Yeah.
Yeah, truck payments worth more than your house or your mortgage payment.
I
Like it just
there's people who are worried about how they're going to pay for their $1,000 spa day, and I'm worried about how these fucking spa people are going to pay me $180,000. Like it's such a different. It's just a different world. It's a yeah. That quote's amazing though. It's great.
they're worried about getting the staph infection at the spa. You're worried about getting the money
Yeah,
out of the spa.
To
yeah.
pay your
But
staff.
To pay my
oh, that was great.
yeah. Okay.
Oh.
So that is Caleb's corner for this week. And although
That was
Mike was a
good.
little bit upset because we did it mid reading of the and that didn't go well with his his obsession with his OCD with how we do things on this podcast. That would not have happened on the How to Hardscape podcast. It
No,
would
that
not come
wasn't
out of
because I'm in complete control in the How to RC podcast. So just kidding.
This whole episode has been sort of bouncing around off the wall
Are
and
you
stuff, but it's
you
okay.
guys ready for the second voicemail?
Second voicemail coming up.
Okay. One thing Zach has got is a lot of advertising on our YouTube channel for this Strong Roots. Like this has
Yeah,
been
it's been up the whole time.
yeah, go Zach. Love it.
If you could pick between two magic powers, one where when you lay the last full stone in a pattern, boom, all the rest of the stones are cut in. Or would you rather never sand, never use poly sand again? So once the last cut's in, boom, it's all sanded, nothing cracks, poly sand's in, and it actually is hard.
Actually is hard.
That was a good addition at the end.
That's the kicker.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I will cut all freaking day if I never have to spread sand again.
I would be opposite.
Yeah, me too. I've cut all fucking day.
I understand the
Days
frustration with
upon
poly,
days.
but yeah, I would rather not cut than
I have cut until I have carpal tunnel and I can't hold the saw, and then I started holding it with my other hand, and now I have carpal tunnel in that hand from holding the saw. So that's how much I would like to cut. So
if your saw was on wheels, you would just have an easy the The ground would take the pressure off your hand.
Sound would take the
Wheel it
pressure off.
around.
I fuck polysand. Fuck it. I don't care who knows. I fucking hate it. It's a disaster. You can if I cut something, I know I'm never going back because I fucked up a cut.
Yeah, you're right there.
When I this guy's saying the polysand's hard when you install it, but is it hard 2 years later? Or what if there's a tree there? And what if leaves keep falling? Or what if there's someone reroutes the eaves trough and water flows over? Or there's a fucking eclipse. What if there's an eclipse? Something could go. What if there's an eclipse and the polysand looks at the eclipse while it's an eclipse? It could go soft. I'm just saying. That could happen. I don't anything anything I can do to get away from sand is there is a bunch of videos buried somewhere on my Instagram when we were having an eclipse, and all it is all of us on the job site running around going eclipse, eclipse, and singing that song, Eclipse of the Heart. I remember this. It was like for a week. We talked about was the eclipse and not looking at it because we did safety meetings about it. Like seriously, the guy that owned the company was like, "No one look at the eclipse." I'm like, "Bro, we're like 40, not in kindergarten. Like, should we build boxes so we can look at the eclipse?" Like, oh my god, it's fucking fucked up.
Bring in your toilet rolls. We're gonna make boxes for the eclipse.
I can't fathom that you guys aren't voting for getting polysand out of your life.
It's tight. It's close, but I would rather not cut.
Yeah, I'd rather not cut.
All right.
And I mean, if I could design everything so there were no cuts in the project or minimal cuts, then I would go the polysand route. But I'm imagining some sort of every project's like curved and multiple cuts and everything like that.
I come from the 90s. Everything was curved.
Yeah.
Bean-shaped everything.
Design,
Bean
everything.
shaped.
One time
Circle
I was
kits.
cutting down 1 foot copings with the guy that I hadn't, like he was marking and I was cutting. And we cut this like crazy long curved wall. And it was like, I don't know, it was like a Sunday night at like 7:30. And I was just trying to help him. He was doing a side job. He's a friend of mine. And when we were all done, he was like, "We just cut this entire thing and never ran the saw through once." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." I said, "Dude, I come from the 90s, man. All we did was cut coping. We used to have to take 2 foot copings and cut them into 1 foot copings before we could cut them into wedges." Like there was I don't there when I started, there was no 1 foot copings that you could like when you were doing a curve, you had to cut a 2 foot into a 1 foot, then cut it into a wedge. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was just like I'm sure that's why I can't breathe and why my hands are screwed up on both sides. Now I try to design everything with no cutting, as little cutting as possible. Like,
Or Nancy designs it with no cutting.
well, she designs it with a lot of cutting, and then I yell at her
Oh,
frequently. Nancy loves curves. Nancy loves curves and texture. I like smooth and straight.
I like
That's
one curve. That's it. None of these compound curves and going both ways like a snake and stuff. Like I'll do one arc. I like an arc.
Right.
A
An
nice arc.
One nice arc. You can cut it from both sides. Last piece in the middle. Yeah. It just softens the job. That's my thing.
We used to do a lot of patterns and stuff. Now I'm old.
Yeah.
Although I'm happy that our job, I think it's in the Best Way catalog this year. Our job we did last year. It makes me happy that like even at 50, I'm still doing work that's relevant to the industry. That people like Best Way just posted a picture of our job on their Instagram account, and they went and took pro pictures of it. So
Nice.
our job was on the cover of the Best Way catalog, the balsam picture 2 years ago or last year, I think. So I mean, I'm happy that we're still. I don't think the work we're doing is as intricate as it was, but I think we're still relevant in the industry. I think that's good. I'm excited about that. Like, it still makes me happy to think that we're still relevant, or at least I know how to work the channels so I can get the pro pictures taken and not have to pay for them. I guess there's something to that too. There you go. Know how to work a good angle?
That's it.
Should we
What else
get
we got?
into
Anything?
questions?